Hey, Christopher.
Hello, how are you?
It is an absolute joy to speak to you about this film.
Wow, thank you.
I was so stressed watching this that at
Oh,
one
good.
stage I realised I had pins and needles in my hand because I'd just been like gripping my face with what was going on screen. I mean, is that job done? If you're getting a reaction?
That is job one. Yes, the whole idea is that you only use the edge of your seat. That's what we aim for.
I mean, it literally, scene after scene, does build and build, and you do question how you can kind of trump the last scene, but you guys do it.
Thank you.
Day one of filming, your leading man drives a motorcycle off a cliff. You have to watch him do this 7 times.
Yes, 8 times.
8 times. What goes through your head?
We have a saying on these movies now. This is a terrible idea. When do we start? We did not. If we knew what would go into it, a lot of times we would probably not have proceeded. We talk ourselves into things, and then we're committed. You just have to go through it. And when he's on that ramp, once you call action, there's really nothing you can do until it's over.
There's very few stars that would put themselves through this as well. Is there only one Tom Cruise?
I don't know any.
Yeah. I mean, as well, the thing about the Mission Impossible films is how do you kind of trump the last one with each thing? I mean, this is a 2-parter. Are you saying that the second part's going to be even bigger than this?
Absolutely. Yes.
How much fun do you have as a director working on this? I mean, do you have all of the sort of toys to play with?
I never expected to be a director of action films. I certainly never expected to direct 4 Mission Impossible movies. I'm here as a result of just going through the door that opened, taking an opportunity and building on it, taking all the knowledge that we've acquired from all the previous films, not just Mission, but Top Gun Maverick, Edge of Tomorrow, putting it towards this movie. And you find yourself standing on a cliff in Norway talking about your actor driving a motorcycle off the... It's a bit surreal. It's a bit strange, but we're just grateful for the opportunity.
Of course, the other big thing that you had to contend with for this was COVID lockdowns as well. I mean, in that respect, was this one of the most challenging films for you to
Without question. And a lot of what, we were supposed to start in February of 2020, and Venice closed down 2 days before we were supposed to start shooting. So we were there at ground zero, and everything that happened after that was essentially reigniting the industry and figuring out what those protocols would be and how to make a movie in those conditions. And our team was on the cutting edge of it, and they really rose to the occasion. It really is, I gotta say, it's the best crew in the world. They're truly extraordinary.
That's what makes it all the more incredible that you managed to pull this off during such restrictions.
Yeah, when you watch that airport scene and you realize that was shot in the height of COVID, that the train scene was shot in the height of COVID, all that background, all of that, it was all done safely. It was all done with COVID protocols, and fortunately everybody came out safe.
Thank you so much for talking to us. It's a great film.
Thank you so much.
Lovely
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Hello.
I did.
Sorry, I need to say hi.
I did see you. I could not miss it. Hello, I'm sorry. When Tom calls. Yes.
You're next?
Yes, please.
Okay, what's your name?
Katie from Sky News.
Okay.
I tried to do this haircut. I'm trying to look like I'm a huge fan, so I'm getting there little by little. Yeah. Oh, I can tell I'm hard to Mark wanting to take it over the other franchise, and we filmed in location, and the movie's very intense, and the action is that's a very close subject. I mean, yeah, it's crazy because with you develop a story years ago, and now it's even more. It's what's happening right now.
We got Katie right here.
Hello, Very nice to meet you,
Hello.
Katie from Sky News.
Hello.
what an extraordinary film you guys have made. It's so stressful to watch some of these scenes, and your character in many ways contributes to a huge amount of the action and the stress that the audiences feel. To make this, to have this role, I mean, to throw punches at Tom Cruise, to hit him and have hit you hit him.
It's a dream come true. It's a dream come true. Oh, that's a beautiful, like, how do you say, Freudian slip,
Yes,
right?
we love
I'm gonna say that from now on. Now, it's a beautiful dream come true. Come true. Same. Anyway, it was my dream to be a part of Mission Impossible. I used to train years ago, do stunt training, fight training with a friend called Jason Noviello, who's a martial artist. And sometimes in my schedule, in my phone, I would write, instead of training or stunt training or martial arts training, I would write Mission Impossible, because, to try to manifest it, and it happened.
This is impressive stuff. So, look, the other impressive thing about this is you guys managed to pull this off during COVID lockdowns.
Yeah,
Did that in itself feel like a feat?
I mean, it feels amazing to be back here. I remember, traveling to different countries and then coming back here and having to quarantine, because we used to have to do that back then, So we stayed a long time here, and I feel very grateful to be back here.
If you were a fan of the franchise then, were you at all daunted by Tom Cruise is there right in front of you, you're told to throw a punch, to kick him a bit?
Yeah, I mean, he's such a gentleman, he would never hurt a woman, So, but I wanted it to really look real, so it was like, yeah, let's go for it, and we're like just like, really excited to do this fight, and it was very technical, a lot of training, a lot of bruises, a lot of sweat, but it was all worth it.
It's crazy how much Tom Cruise throws himself into these roles as well. Are you full
it's
of
amazing.
admiration?
It's amazing to watch him work. Sometimes I would just go to set just to watch him and to watch him with McHugh and even the rest of the cast. I was like almost like an audience member within the movie.
It's a brilliant role you have, and congratulations. It's a great film. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I was trying to not have this.
Nice to see you. Absolutely. Hey man, how's it going? Hi. Yeah. Okay.
So the first about the stunts and humour, what can we expect?
A lot of stunts and humour. I mean, the thing that Tom and McKeel was really concentrating on nailing is the characters, I mean, people talk about the stunts a lot, but without the character sort of work and the character detail, the stunts won't mean anything. You won't care about the people involved. So a lot of the effort really goes into making characters as three-dimensional, believable, you care about them, because at the moment you get to that point, you put them in a dangerous situation, and the stakes are so much higher. So that's always the secret ingredient, I think.
And then you and Tom have been friends for 70 years.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Is he like, when you write you out, it's like, let's go, how long do you actually more of them after this is done?
He's, he's always busy, Tom. That's the thing. Like, he'll swing by and come and have a cup of tea, and But I mean, when we go out, when we're working, we tend to go and do something really fun, like go-karting or shark diving or zip lining. But I mean, dinners. It's usually dinners. It's like a family dinner. Everyone comes around, sits around the table. It's just a nice, quiet evening. It's obviously difficult to go out when you're Tom Cruise, because everybody wants a piece of it. So it's usually like a little kind of nice little homely affair.
And then this film's part 1 and 2.
Yes, it is, yeah. Although it doesn't really feel like... The good thing I think they nailed with this is that when you get to the end of part 1, it doesn't feel like, oh, I want part 2 now. It finishes, it has an ending, and also you couldn't possibly sit through as much tension and stakes again for any amount of time without having a minor heart attack. So it kind of feels like, yeah, I can take a break for 12 months before the next one comes up.
And then finally, the film tackles AI.
Yeah.
What's your take on AI?
it's a nascent technology, you know, nobody really understands it, or I think they slightly overestimate where it is at the moment. It's nowhere near sentience, I don't think, but it could be an amazing thing for us in terms of technology, in terms of space travel, medicine, environmental protection. I think in art, art is a human thing. Art is the expression of human emotions interpreted into the abstract. When it gets its own feelings, then it can make some art of its own. But, stay out of ours. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
What a wonderful suit.
Hi,
Simon,
thank you very
come
much.
have this. This is
Joshua
very
Kane.
good. This is possibly the most stressful film I have seen in a long, long time.
Just try working on it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Look, cinema needs a film like this. Audience numbers are down by a third on pre-COVID levels.
yeah.
Are you hoping to get some bums on the seats?
It is vital, That's something that Tom considers a sort of existential threat, the idea that cinema as we know it might sort of vanish. It shouldn't, it can't. It's important that it doesn't, not just because it's entertaining or because, we're seeing things on a big screen, but this is a moment when a lot of people who don't know each other get together and share something. In this day and age, when we're all on our phones the whole time, we're so insular, we're so isolated. Cinema is a really, really important social kind of convention. It's a tribe, and we can't disband that tribe. I'm talking about theatre as well. Anytime we're all together, and we don't know who's in the audience, whose political views, whose kind of thoughts on anything, and yet we all share that moment, And I genuinely believe in its importance as part of our society. So yes, I think people should come and see this film in the cinema.
But also, I guess, at a cost of living time, value for money is important.
True,
And this
yeah.
does it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you want to come out and make sure that you get a bang for your buck, and there is a lot of bang in this film, believe me. So and also what's great about this film is that it runs slightly longer, I think, than the last one, but it feels shorter than some 1 hour films I've watched. You know what I mean? And by the end of it, you feel so sated, so kind of like you'll just walk out of there thinking that was money well spent.
Tom Cruise does the vast majority of the action in this. You've got quite a few good action scenes.
I get the best part of this because I'm part of those scenes, but I'm always kind of guiding him around. So I send him up the mountain, and I kind of I'm the one that's looking after him when he's running about. I don't have to do the jumping off, the hanging on to, the dangerous things.
Frustratingly, we can't go into too much detail, but the airport scene is a real heart-racing scene.
Yeah, that was a really fun scene to do. And there's a lot of emotion in this as well. Obviously that thing that Benji's dealing with is sort of also trying to get to know him as a person, which is a very weird thing to happen.
We're being told to wrap up, but one of the themes as well is friendship. Your friendship with Tom now has lasted quite a few years.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Are you
Almost
close?
20.
Is it sort of strange to see how the franchise has changed and how your relationship's changed?
Yeah, I mean, you get to know Tom quite quickly. He wears his heart on his sleeve. It's not like he's a mystery or anything. When you finally get to him through all the kind of madness and speculation and mystery that surrounds him, there's a guy in the middle of it who's just very passionate about his job. He's incredibly generous to everyone around him. He's a really inspiring guy. I mean, I love his passion. I love how he cares so much about making movies that he will literally risk his life to get the best thing he can. I love him. He's a good guy.
People will love watching this. It's brilliant. Thank you so much. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Sorry, Katie from Sky News. Hello, thank you so much for talking to us. Katie from Sky News, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Look, what a film this is.
right. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
How about that?
I got pins and needles in my hand, so I was stopped moving at one
How
stage.
about that, right?
How much fun was
Oh
it?
my God. I mean, I hope the fans have as much fun watching it as we had making it. Honestly, Katie, I hope so. I think they will, yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
when you work with a star like Tom Cruise, there's very few people that are up for doing the level of sort of involvement that he does and
Yeah.
stunts, putting his neck on the line and what have you.
His life on the line. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, is that part of the glory of kind of working with him?
Well, yeah, this is our second picture together. We did Days of Thunder over 30 years ago. And, he's the same guy. He's so incredibly focused. He's a wonderful human being to start with, but he's so focused and so dedicated to his art. And he's a brilliant actor, as you know. He's a brilliant stuntman, probably the greatest stuntman that ever lived, let's face it. And a brilliant producer. So, he wears all these hats really well, and there's a reason he's the biggest movie star on the planet, And I told him that back in Florida, and, 30 some odd years ago. You
I feel
know.
like you can take credit for this. Though. Come on. Well done, you. Look, we're at a time where there's a cost of living crisis. Cinema audience
Yeah.
numbers are down by a third in this country still.
Yeah.
from pre-COVID
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah.
We need this.
Yeah,
don't
we do. We sure do. Well, you know, Tom's movies are events. Yeah, they're meant to be seen on the biggest screen you can find, because he wants the audience to feel the full impact and the energy and the emotion of his films. And this one has it all, as you know, Katie. So it can't really be watched, you know, on a small screen or on your phone or anything. You got to get out there and check it out on the biggest screen you can find. You know?
Thank you for the stress of it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Right?
Thank you.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you. Take care.
No, it's okay. It was just Amy that was with me. So basically, I'll power at about 42, 10 to, and then I'll stay up there.
When she's later on, I love to get some yeah, it's, yeah, absolutely. Good to see you.
Hello, I'm Jody.
Hello, nice to meet you. Katie. from
Katie,
Sky
nice
News.
to see you.
Someone said something. Didn't they ask in AI what the biggest threat to mankind is? And I think the AI itself answered.
I'm going to get out live.
I mean, I won't say it.
Never mind AI. No, I am going to detail.
Talk about
Rex, this is Katie, the Sky News.
Becky, thank you so much for talking to us. What a brilliantly stressful film you have all created.
You're welcome.
I've got pins and needles in my hands because I realised
How are
I
your
wasn't
nails? Have you
moving.
eaten them? No, you're good.
Well,
No,
not
no.
quite, not yet. But to be a part of this franchise, to be back with another film as well. Cinema needs films like this, particularly at the moment, doesn't it?
I mean, I feel like the luckiest person in the world to be back in this, to feel the team collaboration, the pump, the energy, having to stay a bit in shape. It comes with so much in life.
Gym.
I mean, it's the best gym, it's the best job. I'm just lucky.
Your relationship with Tom Cruise, this is a film, one of the themes is friendship as well. Has that kind of grown over the time that you've known him as well?
Yeah, and I think something that we never discussed about Tom is the fact that he's very good at stunts, yes, and it is all managed into the minute, particle detail of safety. But he also walks onto set, and we talk about character, and he will go, why? Why am I feeling this? Why would I do that? Why did this happen? But if I do this, why? I mean, the breakdown of the arc of the character for all characters are equally as important for him.
What a professional as well. I mean, he comes to an event like this, signs every single person's autograph. Is it
so tiring to work
Is
with?
it-
I
is it
can't stand him.
embarrassing for you lot to
I have
do
him
that?
on my, the shitty list. Who do you not want to work with? I'm like, Tom Cruise. Again, I'm just done. No, I love him. I love him. I could aspire. If I could aspire to be like 10% of him.
Could we all do with being 10% more Tom?
I think so. 10% more Tom, that's the t-shirt.
Yeah, okay, good. We'll take them up.
10% more Tom.
Can I just talk very quickly about algorithms, AI, deepfakes, and what have you?
Absolutely, I'm a
Mr.
professional. I'm ridiculously
Master.
intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Come
know
on.
it all. Mensa means nothing to me. Go on.
Tom Cruise himself has
Yeah.
been a victim of deepfakes on many an occasion. As actors, is it kind of mildly terrifying that you're signing away all these rights and you don't quite know what's going
I
where?
mean, there are battles now, isn't there? I mean, we have the writers, the directors settle an agreement. We're now looking at maybe SAG doing a strike.
Feeling about that?
There's many feelings about it. I think there are many issues that we need to talk about, and I think it's hard, isn't it? Do you put everything in one sort of potpourri of everything to analyze and to dissect? But I am scared. I don't want AI to take over. I also believe that we live in a world where it is active and where it will be merged, and you can't fight it. It's there. and it is there to stay. It is there to be developed. But maybe we can protect ourselves with a percentage quote in contracts. Maybe we don't have to sign away, and people can't and are not allowed to use our own identity and our voices and our movements and our faces and expressions. The same for the writers, you know. You can get AI to write it. Will it have emotion? Will it have stamina? Is that where we want to go, even if we can?
You're giving so much of yourself away. Look, for somebody who didn't say they had intellectual thoughts,
No,
but you
I'm
did very
sorry.
well.
There's so much in that. Sorry.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. It's a great film.
I'm just going to do a TV intro, and then the camera's going to come and find you. Alright? So I'm literally going to do a quick intro, so I'm going to be like, I'll follow you. Oh, you don't know where for the UK premiere of Mission Impossible World. I'm in London, Leicester Square for the UK premiere of Mission Impossible at the star of the movie Tom Cruise. It's great to be here. It's so many movies. They're making all these
Hello. Who?
Sorry.
Oh, I'd missed that.
She's coming
That
out.
effect.
He's going to start and then come back.
Hayley, very nice to meet you. Casey from Sky News. What an extraordinary film to be a part of. I was so stressed throughout the majority of this film. I mean, was it any more chilled out being in it?
Of course not. I mean, it's a visceral, adrenalizing experience, and so much of it obviously is meticulously planned out and designed. The stunts are all, we train for 5 months. But when you're there in the moment, you're also kind of wanting to search for and find the thing that feels most alive. So we are adrenalized as we're doing it, and we know also the dangers involved, and you really have to sell that as something that's terrifying. And at times it was adrenalizing, but I wasn't scared because I felt very safe. You know, the stunt team behind Tom is remarkable, and his attention to detail and care of making sure everyone's okay. At one point he looked at me and he went, "You okay?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't even know at this stage. I don't know where I am, what I'm doing." And he's like, "You have adrenal fatigue, you need some chocolate." And he presented me with this beautiful box of chocolate, and he was like, "You need to eat this." And I was like, "Yes, I do, and I will in the name of my art."
I need Tom Cruise in my life for this alone. This is impressive.
It got me going. It's great.
What a franchise to join as well. Is it better than any gym being a part of this?
Of course. I mean, you're working. I was drifting with a race car driver for 5 months, doing unarmed combat, sleight of hand tricks, working with mixed martial arts kind of fight styles to find out where her physicality was. And we wanted to make her similar in origin story to Ethan in that she was an opportunist and a thief who kind of learned on the job. So all of my training was kind of working out how not just to be, I didn't want it to be cool, slick, sexy. I didn't want it to be one thing. I didn't want her to be the femme fatale, the ice queen, the ingenue. I wanted her to have nuance because, she in a way is experiencing this the way the audience is. She's an outsider coming in going, what have I got myself into here? And she's making it up as she goes along. So I wanted all the physicality to feel like it was reflecting someone who was out of their depth, but they were going to give it a go anyway.
Well, I am contractually obliged not to give away too many details about your character and what happens in the film. But are you the best dinner party guest ever now? This element of sleight of hand magic that we have in your character.
The best thing about it is learning about being a put pocket. So you can plant things on people, which is like it's like basically the equivalent of someone holding your drink for them while you go off and have fun, and then coming and they have no idea, and then you pick it off them at the end of the night. Like it's useful in crowds, I have to say. But yeah, and I think I've learned so much about the whole film process, and both McHugh and Tom really demystify the filmmaking process because they're so inclusive in it, and they are always studying film, and they're students themselves, and they always want to know what is the kind of cutting edge technology, or what is that thing that's living in the cultural consciousness that audiences are going to relate to and attach themselves to and feel connected to in some way.
This is an absolute gem of a film. If you would like to plant some chocolate in my pocket with your newfound
little put pocket, little treat for you. Check your pockets later.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Two shot, then into just him, and then back to me at the end.
Sorry?
Two shot, then into him, and then back to me at the end.
Too close, I can't see you at all.
But if I'm him, and then I'll step back.
That was day one of filming Dead Right. That's the first day, yeah, we're like, well, this is happening. When I'm actually doing something, I've prepared so much. I know what the cameras are, I know how to run drone.
Do we need to get live?
Plus, I'm just the performance that I'm giving, and the timing has to go to the body. I really have no idea. I just run. Since I was a little kid, I get those sneakers on. I just see a run along. You always feel like you've been running faster.
Well, you've inspired me to get back on the running track, so thank you so much. So lovely to meet you. Thank you. And folks, thank you for having me. And you guys can get along and I'm Mission Impossible. But for now, that's all that's guys. Mission is complete. Thank you so much. So lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Katie from Sky News. We're just going to pretend this is live, if that's all right. And I'm joined now by the man of the hour, Mr. Tom Cruise. Look, Tom, I was so unbelievably stressed watching this film. I got pins and needles because I was clutching my face or clutching the chair. Is that job done? Is this what you want?
You know what? If I hear that, take it off. Take it off. I want you to just have a great summer experience with this film.
The thing about these films is you watch one and you think they're not going to be able to trump the next. I mean, how do you do this? How do you workshop this?
You know, it's McHugh and I, and we just constantly push each other. Never rest on your laurels. After every film that we have, and tonight I'll probably say it to him again, when it's done, I'll turn around and go, we could do better. You know, and that's how I feel about everything that I do.
Tell us about day one of shooting, where you get on a motorcycle, go off of the cliff.
Yes.
I mean, it's a remarkable thing for you to have done. 6 seconds before you might hit the ground. Do you even have time to question what you're doing?
You know, honestly, when I train, there's so much going on that time expands. When I'm dropping, that 6 seconds feels longer. You know, it feels short and long. So there's time to think about things, and so much is happening. You know, I've got the helicopter coming across. I have a drone going this way and going off, and making sure that I don't open, that I depart from the motorcycle, that I don't open too soon, because I have to fall long enough. So I'm holding out as long as I can before I open that parachute.
Also, the other big thing you had to contend with for this was COVID, and we know that you followed the rules. Our government weren't quite as good as doing that. Is that annoying, and how hard was it for you to contend?
You know, it was a beautiful moment to be able to share. Hello. It's a beautiful moment to be able to share with the crew the film that they all made during that time period with their families. So we had a big, wonderful evening last night with them. It was quite a moment. I'm very proud of everyone, what they did to get through that. And you know, when you look at the film, you see what we all accomplished together. It meant even more that, you know, I don't take anything for granted making these films, and particularly during that time period. I'm just very proud of what we all did together.
You're being dragged away. Give us a little tease about part 2. What can we expect?
It's called Mission Impossible. It's called Dead Reckoning Part 2. I can't...
Tom, that's
I
nothing.
know. It's a little bit. You said a little tease.
Okay, but more than the title.
I can't, you know, it's going to be an epic adventure.
If it's anything like the first, it will be absolutely stunning. Thank you. Very nice to meet you. Brilliant.
It's going to be better.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Tom Cruise there. The film Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning coming out on July the 10th. What a man. The stunts are, quite frankly, incredible to watch.